Batting eighth, the designated hitter from the
It's time for the second game of tonight's doubleheader between the Braves and the Falmouth Commodores. Hello, everyone. Jordan Palacio here alongside Sam Wiederhalf from Gov Fuller Field on the Saturday night edition of Bourne Braves Baseball tonight, July 27th. And the Braves falling in that first game, Sam, to the Commodores 4-2. And it was that first inning that really the Braves could not get back from.
Yeah, for the seventh game in a row, the Braves give up at least one run in the first inning, and it was three coming across, helped by a two-run double by Zach DeLoach that brought 2 runs home. And after that, the Braves had a little spark of life off a 2-run double by Jared Poland, but that was really it. Chris Gonzalez held them in check, and only a 7-inning game. That lessens your chances to get back into it after that first inning, and the Braves couldn't do it.
And we'll talk about him more when he gets on the mound, but Nick Iverson is going to be getting the start in tonight's game, and I think it's a little bit of a shocker because we've seen him be so effective out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he has been. He's pitched in 11 games out of the bullpen, has a 2.64 ERA and 17 innings pitched, has a save on the year, 7 strikeouts, 6 walks as well. His last game he pitched in was in relief against YD, 1 1/3, 2 hits, 3 earned runs. So he got a little roughed up there, but Harvey Shapiro decides to give him the ball to start this game for the first time this season.
And it should be interesting when he takes the mound. Of course, the Braves on the road. When we come back, we'll have the team's starting lineups and a first pitch here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. Jordan Palacio alongside Sam Wiederhalf for the nightcap, I should say, of this doubleheader between the Commodores and the Braves. Let's look at the Braves starting 9 for Game 2. And Judd Fabian moves up in the order. He leads things off from center field, or from left field, I should say, as Xavier Warren follows him at third base. Brendan Rivoli, after a 3-hit night in his last start, is catching tonight and moves all the way up to the 3-hole, followed by Jimmy Glowacki at shortstop. Cody Morissette playing second base, batting 5th. Cade Beloso at first, batting 6th. Kyler Fedko in right field, batting 7th. Kyle Hess in DH tonight, batting 8th. And Giovanni DiGiacomo rounds things out, batting 9th from center field. And Sam, we have a pitcher coming from community college. It's a rare sight to see Brant Brown on the mound for Falmouth.
Yeah, Brant Brown would be a rising junior. Now he's transferring to Eckerd College. He's pitched in the Cape Cod League 2 games. Hasn't started yet. He has a 1-0 record. His ERA is even at 0. He's only pitched 4 innings, striking out 4, not allowing any hits. He's coming off an appearance where he played against Wareham July 24th, went 3 innings there. That's where he got his win. Faced 9 batters, struck out 3, no runs, no hits. His statistics at his junior college, which is St. John's River State College, he appeared in 9 games, didn't start any games there as well. 9 innings on the year and even 3 ERA and 13 strikeouts. So we'll have 2 pitchers in this game getting their first starts of the season, and it'll amount to some interesting play.
Yeah, it absolutely will. Defensively, for the Falmouth Commodores, they look like this coming into this game at 23-12-1. And more importantly, winners of their last 10 games straight. Taylor Smith is catching. Jackson Coots is at first base. Hayden Cantrell at second. Trey Cruz moves from third to shortstop. And at third is Steven Moretto. Austin Langworthy, who got the save in the last game, starts in left field. Tim Tawa is in center field. And Zach DeLoach is out in right field. Fabian steps into the box. The Braves at 15-22-1 entering the second game. As Fabian looks at his first pitch, it misses the zone for ball 1. First pitch at 5:45 p.m. And now Brown very quickly into his 1-0 pitch. It's in the dirt. The count now to Judd Fabian at 2-0.
Fabian in the first game, a 1-for-4 performance, came around to score, so he got a run scored. 2 strikeouts, hit a double right down the left field line.
2-0 pitch. He fouls straight back into the fence behind home plate. 2-1 now. Fabian on the year, batting .287. Of course, he's an all-star. Went 1 for 2 in the all-star game. Stole second base after he hit his single. The 2-0 now. And that one is in the dirt. Smith can't hang on to it. Now the count 3 balls and 1 strike to the leadoff man, Fabian.
And Brant Brown is still a newer pitcher to this Commodores team. He joined not too long ago, and his team's had a lot of success. He's looking to carry that through.
3-1 to Fabian. He slaps it into right field. Back on it is Deloach. He looks up, and it's over his head. Fabian will lead things off with extra bases. He rounds first, cruises into second base, and he's in there standing up. Fabian got a good 3-1 fastball, and he slaps it over Deloach into right field for extra bases.
That's a way to start off this game. Fabian collects his 8th double of the season. He doubled in the last game, and this time he takes it to right field. A very hard-hit ball over the head of Zach Deloach in right field, and Fabian uses his legs, gets to second base for a leadoff double.
Now here's Xavier Warren now batting from the left side the first time in today's game, hitting .289 so far this year. And the earlier game, it was a successful one. He went 3 for 4 with a run scored. And he takes this one right to shortstop. It's Trey Cruz who catches the lineout. He hit it hard. The problem, it was right at Cruz over at short.
Yeah, just unlucky for Xavier Warren. It came off the bat well, sounded good, but it was right where Trey Cruz was playing at shortstop, so he gets him out for the first down. Luckily, Fabian was able to get back to second in time. We've seen a couple double plays. We saw one in the first game, and luckily Fabian got there back in time.
Now the Braves are able to pull a double play like that off of a lineout. Cabeloso caught and threw it to the shortstop, Jimmy Glowinski. Here's Brennan Rivoli now as he fouls the first pitch off out of play over the Braves dugout. Rivoli in his last start behind the plate, 3 hits for him. That was last night against Chatham. He came in for a pinch hit appearance earlier in the first game. Went 0 for 1. 3 for 4 last night against the Anglers and was stranded on base all 3 times, as he fouls the 0-1 off over toward the bullpen area for Falmouth down the first base side. The count now at 0-2.
And this is the earliest in the lineup that Rivoli has hit all season, batting in this 3 spot. He typically, when he starts, bats toward the back of the lineup, but had a big performance last night, 3 for 4, came in a pinch hit appearance, went 0 for 1 in the first game, but he's looking to turn things around.
He's batting an even .200 coming into this game. He pops the 0-2 foul again, 3 straight foul balls off the bat of Brennan Rivoli. The runner at second is Fabian after he doubled. The Falmouth, of course, coming into this game, the hottest team, not only in this league, but in the past few years, the longest win streak in Commodores history, or at least until 2000 when the records were kept electronically. The 0-2 pitch hit into right field. Fabian advancing to third, and that's where he'll be kept at. Harvey Shapiro putting on the brakes. It's a 0-2 single for Brennan Rivoli, and he's found a little bit of fire with the bat.
Yeah, Rivoli, the lefty, just put that single over the head of first baseman Jackson Coots. An easy single. Now, I'm surprised that Fabian was held up over at third, but they don't send him smartly. Runners will be at the corners, and Rivoli, that's his 4th hit in 2 games.
Now here's Jimmy Glowinski. Shortstop. Batting .289. First pitch to him, breaking ball, flown out into center field. This should be deep enough to score Fabian. Tim Tawa is circling under it. He's got it. Here comes the runner, Fabian. They're not even going to try with him. Jimmy Glowinski tacks on another RBI. He does his job at the plate, and it's 1-0 Braves.
Glowinski does what he did 2 nights ago against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, where he got the walk-off sac fly, and he scores Judd Fabian, who was just 90 feet away. So he does his job. He was probably looking for a little bit more, but the Braves, instead of being down in the first inning, already get their first runs of the game in the first.
Here's Cody Morissette now. He's hitting .252. And he takes this one to the right center field gap. Back on it is Tim Tawa. He's still going back, and he makes the catch, running into the wall. An athletic catch from Tim Tawa will end the first inning for the Braves. A lot of hardly hit balls. The problem is that the Falmouth defense is coming out to play in this second game. It's 1 run off 2 hits for the Braves with 1 stranded. We head now to the bottom of the first one. Nick Iverson. or take the hill starting for the first time this season. We'll be back on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel. The Braves put a run up in the top of the first inning of this 7-inning ball game here, the nightcap of this doubleheader. Let's go over the starting nine for the Falmouth Commodores. Hayden Cantrell lead things off at second base. He's followed by Tim Tawa, who just made a great catch in center field. Zach DeLoach follows in right field. Trey Cruz cleaning things up from shortstop. Jackson Coots batting fifth at first. Taylor Smith batting sixth. Catching Baron Radcliffe, who got the game off in the first game, is DHing in the 7th hole. Austin Langworthy, who got the save in the last game, is in left field batting eighth. And Steven Moreno rounds out the starting nine for the Falmouth Commodores. On the mound from Gonzaga, Nick Iverson getting his first start, and he fires a first pitch ball low to Hayden Cantrell.
Iverson earns this start after doing extremely well out of the pen this season. This will be his 12th game. First start, has a 2.64 ERA, one save on the year. He's pitched 17 innings.
The 1-0 misses the zone outside. Count now 2-0.
At Gonzaga, he started 7 games of his 26 appearances, had a 4-3 record, 5.05 ERA in 67 2/3 innings pitched.
2-0 pitch is hooked foul down the first baseline. Count now to Cantrell, 2-1. Cantrell went 3 for 4 in the earlier game today. Scored a run, had an RBI. Beat out a bunt single as well. It's the 2-1 pitch into right field and deep. Back on it is Kyler Fedko. He's still moving to the wall. He looks up. It's off the fence. Cantrell rounds first. He's coming in cruising into second base, and it's a leadoff double, back-to-back leadoff doubles here in the top of the first, and now here in the home half.
How does Falmouth respond to a one-run Braves top of the first? Well, they lead it off just exactly how the Braves did. Fabian doubled to start off the Braves, and now Cantrell doubles to start off for the Commodores. And we talk about it, Joran, but this inning has been so important. The past 8 games, the Braves have given up at least 1 run in the first inning. It's been so consistent, and Iverson already gives up a double, and the Commodores have a runner in scoring position.
Here's Tim Tawa now for Falmouth. He squares up to bunt and drops it down the third base line. It's going foul. Defensively, the Braves line up like this. Iverson on the hill. Rivoli catching today. Cade Beloso at first. Cody Morissette at second. Jimmy Glowenke at short. Xavier Warren over at third. Judd Fabian in left today. Giovanni Giacomo in center. And Kyler Fedko out in right field. And we've seen, Sam, that whenever a bullpen arm has come in to make a start, that they've struggled. We've saw with Josh Culliver as the 0-1 rather is hit into left field. Past a diving Xavier Warren. It will go down as a single. Cantrell moves up to third base, and that's where he's stopped. Runners on the corners now for the Falmouth Commodores.
Now, the only reason that Cantrell didn't score on that one was because it was hit to the left side in between short and third, and Cantrell had to wait for it to get through, so he moves on over to third. Tawa is on. It's back-to-back hits for the Commodores, and you're right. I think exactly to Josh Culliver against Wareham earlier, about the middle part of the season. I believe it was July 3rd, and Culliver gave up 7 runs in the first 2 innings, and now he's back in the bullpen. So Harvey Shapiro, he's getting a little experimental here. The Braves are already in the playoffs, don't really have to worry about too much. Third place, is quite a bit of points away. So just trying some new things out before postseason time.
Here's Zach DeLoach now, and he takes his full. Jimmy Glowanki's got it on a hop. He steps on second. Throw on to first is in time. Jimmy Glowanki turns a double play himself. Cantrell comes in to score from third, so make that 9 games in a row that the Braves have suffered a run in the first inning. But Glowanki, what a play to turn 2.
Yeah, the run comes home, but that doesn't really matter. Jimmy Glowanki saved another hit as he made the sliding play at short, turned the double play himself. He decided not to flip it to Morissette, but just tagged the bag himself, threw it to first for a nice double play.
First pitch now to Trey Cruz is fouled off for strike 1. So DeLoach will not get credited for the RBI. The 0-1 to Cruz, grounded over to Cody Morissette. He's got it, and he'll make the easy throw over to first base in time for out number 3. Could have been a lot worse, but the Braves give up 1 run off 2 hits. Nobody left on base. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, it looks like. 1-1 our score as we head now to the top of the second inning on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Gabe Beloso to lead things off here in the top half of the second inning. And Sam, we see it once again. Like I said, it could have been a lot worse, but the Braves giving up a run in the first inning.
Yeah, luckily they scored before they gave up that run, but that's the first inning's just been so important over the last 9 games now.
Cade Beloso looks at ball 1 from Brent Brown on the mound, as Beloso batting .213 on the season, 0 for 3 in the first game today. Another breaking ball. This one finds the zone, though, at 70 miles an hour from Brown. 1 ball and 1 strike now to count to the first baseman.
As a starter, giving up a run in that first inning, it's so hard to push that behind you when you
1-1 pitch flown out into right field. That's Zach DeLoach under it, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Looked good off the bat, but just hung up there in the air, and DeLoach was able to get under and collect for out number 1.
Yeah, Beloso got under it. His slump continues. He got robbed, at least by a diving play in left field and in the first game, but had a pretty routine fly out for Zach DeLoach. But just for a starter, I was talking about when you give a run up in the very first inning, it's so hard to push that behind and look forward to the rest of the game. And it's proved in these last 9 games for the Braves that it's really set them back early.
Kyler Fedko looks at ball 1 from Brown. Fedko batting at 141 on the year. The 1-0 pitch is a fastball in at about 85 miles an hour, called a strike. Fedko last played last night against Chatham, 0 for 4 in that game with a strikeout. 1-1 breaking ball, chopped fair down the third base line. Moretto has it and has to throw across the diamond, and he does so in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the second.
There's been a couple close plays right by the line. Judd Fabian's double in the first game that Trey Cruz was playing third base at the time, thought it was foul, but a good play by Moretto to track that one into the glove. It was a high chopper from Kyler Fedko, and he throws him out at first for the second out of the inning.
Here's Kyle Hess now, tonight's designated hitter. Swings and misses at his first pitch, off speed from Brown. Hess in the game last night against Chatham 0 for 2 as he takes the 0-1 pitch high. Ball and a strike now.
Yeah, Hess has been hitless in his past 6 games. He's 0 for 11 in that stretch. His last hit was 10 days ago, July 17th.
1-1 is another off-speed pitch called a strike right at the knees, and he's in danger of striking out for the 4th consecutive game. Here's the 1-2 from Brown. Another breaking ball. He chops it over to second base. Hayden Cantrell has to make a quick play, throws sidearm, and in time for out number 3. He loses the hat, but gets the outs. We'll be back here from Gulf Fuller Field for the bottom of the 2nd inning here. 1-1 between the Braves and the Commodores.
Jackson Coots.
Welcome to the top of the bottom of the 2nd inning between the top team in the West Division, the Falmouth Commodores, and the 4th place Bourne Braves here from Gulf Fuller Field. Jackson Coots fouls his first pitch off for strike 1. 1-1 score between these two teams. Falmouth, the hottest team in the league, winners of 10 straight games, catapulting them from 3rd all the way to 1st. The 0-1 from Iverson has hit a mile in the air. Back on it is Fabian in center field. He's under it, and he makes the catch. And Sam, that looked like trouble off the bat, but it hangs up in the air for out number 1.
Yeah, no carry at all. The wind really is kind of blowing towards center, but not enough to carry that ball out of here. And Judd Fabian did a great job of concentrating on it, tracking it in all the way to looked like the wall out there, and he puts him out for the first out of the inning. A very loud out, number 1.
Now here comes Taylor Smith now, catching today after Matthew Nelson caught the first game. Smith batting .213. First pitch from Iverson. He swings the bat. It actually breaks in half, and Fabian comes in center field. He makes the catch. The barrel half of the bat almost went all the way to Xavier Warren at third base. It's interesting out number 2.
Yeah, that's a nasty break. It looks like all but's left is the grip of the bat. I don't know how that breaks like that, but it's so different. One play, Judd Fabian's going all the way back to the wall, and the next play he's coming in to make the catch. He's been really running a lot in center field for the 2 outs that he's gotten.
Now here's Baron Radcliffe now, who also got the first game off. First pitch to him is a hard swing and a miss. Radcliffe, the DH tonight, batting .239, 5 home runs on the year, and was in the home run derby as the 0-1 misses inside. Ball and a strike now the count to Radcliffe.
And Radcliffe had 2 RBIs in the July 12th game that got called in the middle of the 2nd inning.
1-1 misses downstairs. 2-1 now. Looks like Iverson's been able to settle in a little bit after giving up 1 run. Hayden Cantrell hitting a double off the fence in right field. 2-1 misses down and away. Count now 3-1 to Radcliffe, and this is not a guy you want to make a mistake to. Here's the 3-1. And it just misses zone low. It's a 2-out walk on 5 pitches to Baron Radcliffe, and that'll bring up Austin Langworthy.
Yeah, Iverson pitches around him, and that'll bring up Austin Langworthy, who actually picked up the save in the first game. We mentioned he is a 2-way player, like Jared Poland. When he gets the start in left field today, picked up the save in the first game, and now is in the lineup tonight.
Only batting .161 on the year for Falmouth. Here's the first pitch. popped up foul. Out of play over the third base dugout. The last game that Langworthy played against Orleans last night, the 2-1 win, he went 0 for 4. Here's the 0-1. Taken for a strike on the outside half. I don't think Langworthy cared for the call much, but he's in the hole here at 0-2.
Yeah, Iverson, after that 1-run first inning, has done pretty well so far through this one. The 4-pitch walk on Baron Radcliffe, but he's settling in right now on Langworthy.
Here's the 0-2. Grounded up the middle. Morissette dives, but he can't come up with the ball. Radcliffe rounds second. He will come into third safely. Morissette dove, could not come up with the ball. And now with 2 outs, the Commodores with runners on the corners.
Oh, it looked like Cody Morissette had dove in a little too far to his right side. His glove was way too far outstretched where the ball kind of just got under his body and skipped into right center field. So that's runners now at the corners. The third hit of the game for Falmouth, and they're threatening with 2 outs.
Now here's Steven Moretto, third baseman, batting 9th. 203 on the year, but last night against Orleans, he went 2 for 3 with a double and a home run. First pitch to Moretto is up and in, taken for ball 1. He's the hero in last night's game. His home run was the difference, and at the time, got Falmouth their 8th straight win. Iverson comes set, hands meet at the belt, the 1-0. Just misses the zone, low for ball 2.
Iverson needs to be careful here. There's a run sitting 90 feet away. We talk about it's a shortened 7-inning game, so these early innings are extremely important. He just needs to focus on getting Moretto out here.
The 2-0 from Iverson is taken downstairs. 3-0 the count now to Steven Moretto. And looming on deck is the leadoff man, Hayden Cantrell, who's already doubled. He came around to score as well. Braves need Iverson to find the zone here. The 3-0 pitch. Called a strike right at the bottom of the knees. And that should hopefully settle Iverson down a little bit on the mound.
Yeah, it definitely does. And he hasn't had to face these situations so far this year and this early in games. He's still trying to figure out what's working for him.
Iverson sets. Here's the 3-1 to Moretto. Popped up foul, and he was down 3-0. Now he's got the count filled up at 3-2.
Iverson needs to give him his best pitch here. There's runners at the corners with 2 outs. Retiring Moretto is the most important thing here for Nick Iverson. Not allow Falmouth to get in the lead.
Runners on the corners in a 1-1 game here, bottom of the 2nd inning. Here's the payoff pitch. There goes the runner from first, Langworthy. Here's a drive to left field. Back on is DiGiacomo. He's at the fence, and he leaps, and it's over the fence. A 3-run home run for Steven Moretto. His 2nd home run in as many games, and on one swing of the bats, the Braves trail it 4-1.
Oh, that'll kill you. It was a 3-2. Fastball a little up in the zone, and Moretto got all over it, took a deep left. 3 runs come across the plate, and that is how you knock a team out of the ball game right there. The Falmouth Commodores now lead by 3, and with 2 outs, there was a walk, there was a single, and then there was a home run. That's how quickly a game can change.
Here's Hayden Cantrell now, and that kills you if you're the Braves. You get the first 2 outs easy, and then you have up a walk, a single, and then a bomb. Cantrell takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Doubled and came around to score in the 1st inning. Here's the 1-0. Flown out foul on the left field line, out of play. A ball and a strike now the count to the 2nd baseman. And it needs to be said, Sam, that this Falmouth team, no matter what, they're finding ways to win right now.
Yeah, everything's going right for them. They've had 7 of their 10 wins fall 2 runs or less they're decided by.
1-1 misses the zone low at the shins. 2 balls on a strike. Now the count to Cantrell. 2-1 misses low as well. Iverson having some troubles finding the zone. Count now grows to 3-1. 3-1 pitch taken for a strike. Cantrell was ready to jog back to first base, and now it's the second batter in a row with the 3-2 count.
He thought that was too far outside. And it's a called strike two, so it's another 3-2 count, back-to-back full counts for Nick Iverson on the mound. He's been struggling with location and placing his off-speed pitches. We'll see what he gives Cantrell here.
3-2 pitch flown out into right field. Back on it is Fedko. He gives way to the center fielder, Judd Fabian. He makes the catch for out number 3. 3 runs off one swing of the bat here in the bottom of the second inning. Moretto's 3-run home run gives Falmouth a 4-1 lead as we head to the top of the third inning here on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel. Top of the third inning here, and the Braves find themselves in another deficit, 4-1. They trail to the first place Falmouth Commodores after the 3-run home run from Stephen Moretto. It's Giovanni DiGiacomo to lead things off.
Yeah, and it's just like the first game of this doubleheader, except reversed. So it was 1 run for the Commodores in the first inning in this one and 3 runs in the second.
And the first pitch to DiGiacomo actually bounces and hits him. Hits him off it looks like the shin there, and the Braves will take it. DiGiacomo gets the first on a hit by pitch, and that'll bring up the leadoff man here, Judd Fabian.
Yeah, just one pitch. It bounced up and hit him right in the leg, but 1 run in the first, 3 in the second for the Commodores. And in the first game, it was 3 in the first and 1 in the second. So Falmouth, 4 quick runs early, and that's extremely hard to come back from.
Especially against this pitching staff, which coming into today's doubleheader only gave up 10 earned runs in their 8 wins. Or their 9 wins, I should say, as Fabian fouls the first pitch off back into the screen.
And in this 10-game win streak, they've only given up a little over 1 run a game. And we know Braves' record is severely under 500 when scoring 2 runs or less.
Here's the 0-1. There goes the runner, DiGiacomo. The throw coming in from Smith is not in time. DiGiacomo takes second base. And recently, Sam, the Braves and DiGiacomo specifically have been showing off the wheels.
Yeah, we saw last night against the Anglers and against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks that Harvey Shapiro is getting a little more aggressive on the base paths with stealing bases. And for DiGiacomo, that's his 3rd stolen base of the year, which is second to Jake McKenzie, who has 6. But Braves getting a little more aggressive and taking bases, and they're already putting a runner in scoring position.
1-1 to Fabian, flown out into shallow center field. Tim Tawa keeps running in, and he makes the catch, meeting with shortstop Trey Cruz. Put away for out number 1.
Fabian was looking to do a lot more with that. He hit a double in the first and flies out here in the 3rd inning. But it's going to be up to the bulk of this lineup. 2, 3, and 4 are all due up with just 1 out to try and get DiGiacomo home. And very rarely do you come back from a 3-run deficit with just 1 swing. So they need to build this up and start bringing runs home.
Xavier Warren looks at his first pitch. That misses the zone high. He lined out to Trey Cruz in the first inning on a very hard hit ball. Warren, the switch hitter, batting from the left side. Here's the 1-0 from Brown, and it's called a strike. 82 miles an hour on the gun. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 away to Xavier Warren with a man on second base here. That's Giovanni DiGiacomo. Braves chasing 3 runs. Here's the 1-1. Called a strike on the outside corner. A very slow breaking ball there, 68 miles an hour. 1-2 now, the count to Warren.
Yeah, that's tough to hit, especially when you're not expecting it. Warren hasn't swung the bat yet, but the two pitches from Brant Brown have been borderline unhittable. So we'll see what he gives him here, 1-2.
He comes home, and Warren fouls off the 1-2 out of play.
Smart pitch. You throw back-to-back off speeds. Warren doesn't offer, and then you give him a fastball that he fouls off. So Warren remains in the at-bat, fights off a 2-strike pitch.
Warren from Central Michigan, originally signed to a temporary contract. He looks at 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Now the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes to the third baseman. He's been the workhorse for this team. Only 2 off days the entire season for Xavier Warren.
Yeah, Xavier Warren we talk about the catching issues. Well, he actually caught for Central Michigan in the fall. So he's also a catcher.
Here's a 2-2. Breaking ball that misses the zone high. Warren works well here in this count. Down 2 strikes, fills it up at 3-2. Braves could use more base runners here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Base hit would also score to Giacomo from second with his speed. Here's the payoff pitch to Warren. Another breaking ball lined right at Trey Cruz again. How about that for Xavier Warren? 2 would-be hits caught by the shortstop. And that's out number 2 here in the top of the third.
And he's not really getting robbed. He's just not hitting it in the right part of the field. Trey Cruz has been there both times. It was hard hit off the bat for the second time in a row for Xavier Warren. He saw a hanging breaking ball from Brant Brown and just couldn't do anything with it. Trey Cruz was there. He gets him out on the line out. Luckily, Giacomo was back to second in time, and now there's 2 outs. It's up to Brendan Rivoli to try and score to Giacomo.
Rivoli singled in the first inning. Looks at a first pitch fastball outside for ball 1. Rivoli has really been turning it around, and it's all started because he's seen a lot more playing time as of late. 1-0 now. Breaking ball. Called a strike. Another sub-60 pitch. Sub-70 pitch, I should say, registering at 68. Ball and a strike now to count to the catcher, Brendan Rivoli. Here's the 1-1. Fastball up and in. Called ball 2. Well, Rivoli should be getting a little extra help catching. Braves making a couple moves today, one of which they signed Cal Cristofo, another catcher out of Yale University. He was just activated this morning, bringing the total amount of catchers to 3 as Rivoli fouls off the 2-1 pitch. It's out of play. Count now at 2-2.
And Rivoli's kind of found his spot at catcher. He's been switching off every game with Robert Carmody. We'll see how they throw in Cal Cristofari from Yale, but Rivoli has been doing a lot better hitting when he's playing more routine games. He's raised that average over 200 when it was sub 200 for the entire season.
There's a 2-2. Grounded over to second. That'll be for Hayden Cantrell. He's got it. An underhand tall flip. Makes Jackson Cooch stretch for it, but he catches it for out number 3. No runs off, no hits, and 1 left on base. That's Giovanni DiGiacomo, stranded at second. Falmouth will look to expand on this lead when we come back here on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel. Bottom of the third inning now between the Commodores and the Braves. 4-1 lead for Falmouth. And this one, the 3-run differential coming because of Stephen Moretto's 3-run bomb in the bottom of the second inning. Falmouth put 3 runners on, all with 2 outs. A walk, a single, and then the home run from Moretto brought everybody home. Here's Tim Tawa, who's 1 for 1 in this game. Singled back in the first. He pops his first pitch up into shallow left field. DiGiacomo calling off both Głowenki and Warren, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
Now batting, the right fielder from
Good communication by DiGiacomo. Everybody was going for it. Głowenki had it at one point. He was called off by Warren, and Warren was called off by DiGiacomo. So great communication in shallow left field to get that first out on the very first pitch. And we saw Falmouth have some communication issues, and it almost ended up costing him the game. 2 runs came across. Jared Poland ended up getting credited for a double, but it was right around in that area, more towards center field, where the left fielder and the center fielder had some communication issues, and the ball dropped right in front of him.
First pitch to Zach Deloge, called the strike. Breaking ball in the outer half. He grounded into a double play his first time. And we know this kid is dangerous. He flies the 0-1 pitch in the shallow center field. Fabian coming in on it. Watch out, he's met up with Głowenki, and Głowenki is the one who actually ends up making the catch. Well, we almost saw a little bit of miscommunication there in shallow center field, but all's well that ends well. It's out number 2.
Yeah, I think Fabian wanted that ball. He had the better angle at it. Głowenki was moving back. Fabian was moving in, but Głowenki was persistent, knew he could get it, and he puts it away for the second out of the inning. But Nick Iverson in 3 pitches already has 2 outs.
Here's Trey Cruz now. He foul tips the first pitch into the glove of Brennan Rivoli for strike 1. Cruz batting .308 coming into this second game. The 0-1 misses the zone low. Ball and a strike now. The count to Trey Cruz out of Rice University. 1-1 now. Chopped foul actually hits the back of Cruz's jersey. He falls behind the count 1-2 to Nick Iverson.
You know what I smell right now?
What do you smell?
Those underrated chicken fingers for the Falmouth Commodores. I told you they were underrated last night.
Right. 1-2 is outside. 2-2 now the count to Cruz. I didn't know we would be getting a continuation of the food review.
Well, we're here.
We are here, yeah.
And Carson Field, our beat reporter, has decided to get them and torture me for the rest of the game. So we're going to talk about them. 2-2 pitch flown out into left center field. Giovanni DiGiacomo looks under it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. A much-needed 1-2-3 inning for Iverson and the Braves. All 3 flyouts, 2 to DiGiacomo and 1 to Fabian. Braves looking to get into this lead a little bit. They trail 4-1 here as we head to the midway point in this ball game. Top of the 4th coming up next on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Jimmy Głowenki to lead us off here in the top of the 4th inning. Falmouth with a 4-1 lead over the Braves right now. But, Sam, let's take a little trip around the Cape. Yeah, sure. Bottom of the 5th inning at Red Wilson Field. YD over Harwich right now. That game's at 6-5. At Stony Brook Field, Orleans in the top of the 5th leads Brewster 2-1.
First pitch to Jimmy Głowenki, popped up foul. And it's out of play over everybody's head here at Go Fuller Field. 0-1 to count. What else do we got?
Of course, Orleans and Brewster playing in that second end of a doubleheader, and then that's it. Hyannis and Wareham still awaiting to start, and Katuitt and Chatham awaiting to start as well. But with Brewster losing in that first game 4-3, Chatham is the first team in the East that has secured their spot in the playoffs.
Golenke fouls another pitch off. He falls behind now in the count, 0-2.
I know the Braves have clinched the playoffs, but can we still do Hawk Watch?
We can still do Hawk Watch.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will do Hawk Watch for the rest of the season because they are chasing history. The 0-2 is fouled off once again. Let's see if this is playable down the first base line. Coots is in reach for it, and it falls foul. It was in play, but he could not get there to make the catch. Golenke stays alive.
I don't know if I'd call it chasing history.
They are, more or less. Maybe they're chasing the wrong side of history. If they lose out, which given Hyannis and who they play is not necessarily out of the realm of possibility. 7-29-1 right now. They have the chance of tying the worst team all time, which was Hyannis as well, who won only 7 games. 0-2 is smacked into right center field. Back on it is Deloach. He can't get there. It finds the gap and will go all the way to the wall. Golenke rounding first. He cruises into second base as the relay throw comes into Cantrell. It's a leadoff double for Jimmy Golenke.
That's just how well Golenke has been swinging it recently to deep right center field. He had a big game 2 days ago against Hyannis where he got 5 RBIs in the 2 games in the doubleheader, and he does it again to right center, opposite field. Golenke is showing his power, and he's lighting up at the right time.
Here's Cody Morissette now. Dropped all the way to the 5-hole, and if memory serves, Sam, I think it's the first time we've seen him in this spot of the order as he looks at a first pitch that misses outside for ball 1. Morissette is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center on the first pitch he saw back in that first inning. Here's the 1-0 now from Brown. Called to strike. Off-speed pitch, only at 80 miles an hour. Count evens at a ball and a strike.
Yeah, at least recently we've seen Jake McKenzie really take that 5 spot over, and he's done extremely well with it. Now Morissette gets moved back. McKenzie gets the second game off.
1-1 is another breaking ball called to strike. Morissette didn't like the call. He's got to work with it now, though. He falls behind 1-2 to Brant Brown. He comes set, hands meet at the letters. The 1-2, another breaking ball. Morissette fights it off, pops it up into foul territory down the third base line. Moretto is making a play on it. He dives and makes the catch. Wow, what a play from Steven Moretto. He already hit a home run, and now he retires Cody Morissette with a diving over-the-shoulder catch.
I can't stress enough how hard that catch is in foul territory. Moretto had to chase it back and then dove backwards for an over-the-shoulder catch, and he made it. We took a while to get checked, but Jason Klump made the call, the third base umpire, and Moretto makes an incredible catch in foul territory to sit down Morissette.
Morissette gets retired, and now that will bring up Cade Beloso, who looks at a first pitch that misses the zone for ball 1. Beloso flew out to Zach Deloach in his first at-bat in the second inning. Braves need some runs, and they have a runner in scoring position right now in Jimmy Golenke. It's the 1-0 taken to second base. Cantrell catches it on a hop, spins around, and makes a sidearm throw in time to retire Cade Beloso. Golenke moves up to third base. A run 90 feet away now for Kyler Fedko.
Yeah, for Beloso, another hard-hit ball that was just in range for Hayden Cantrell. If it was a few feet over more to his left side, he wouldn't have gotten it, but takes a few steps, places it on a hop, tosses to first. Beloso is retired, and now it's Fedko. Fedko's looking to really turn things around this season.
First pitch to Kyler is called the ball, missed the zone low. Only 2 RBIs this season for Kyler Fedko. 9 for 64 coming into today's game. 1-0 is also missing the zone low. 2 balls and strikes now, the count to the right fielder. Fedko just has yet to put it together in a game as the 2-0 is a breaking ball. Misses up and inside possibly. He's got a huge lead in this at-bat, 3-0.
Man, on the season, he's only walked 2 times, so this is a great time to get his third, 3-0, and no pitch has really been close from Brant Brown.
3-0, a called strike on the fastball, about belt high. About 85 miles an hour. Now Fedco has to go to work here at 3-1. Brown working in the windup, steps, kicks, and fires a 3-1 breaking ball. Misses the zone, down and outside. Smith does a nice job of keeping it in front of him, but a 5-pitch walk for Kyler Fedco puts runners on the corners with 2 outs for Kyle Hess.
Fedco doesn't even offer. He didn't have to. Saw a 3-0 pitch, didn't swing. It was a strike, but the 3-1 pitch was way low and outside. A good job by Taylor Smith to keep it in his grasp and not allow Glowenke to get home. Fedco walks for just the 3rd time this season, and Hess with runners at the corners. Braves a chance to get more runs on the board.
Hess fouls his first pitch off. He falls behind 0-1. He grounded out to Hayden Cantrell in that 2nd inning. Hess looking for his first RBI since July 20th against Wareham. 0-1. Called a ball on a breaking ball that just missed the zone outside. Count evens 1-1 now to Kyle Hess. Average coming into this game at sub 200 at 188. Looks at another off-speed pitch, missing high. 2-1 to count to the designated hitter.
And Hess's last RBI came a week ago against the Wareham Gatemen at Doran Park. He had a stretch where he had 3 games where he had at least an RBI in all 3 games, but hasn't gotten one since.
2-1 to Hess. Flown out to right field. Back on is DeLoach. Still moving back. He's under it, and he makes the catch just a couple steps before the wall. It's allowed out number 3, but out number 3 nonetheless. No runs for the Braves off 1 hit, 2 left on, and they are very quickly running out of outs in this one. Nick Iverson comes back to work here as we enter the bottom of the 4th inning on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel.
University of Rhode Island, number 39, Jackson.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. Falmouth with a 4-1 lead over the Braves. So we enter the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Jackson Coots to lead us off here. 0-1. Looks at a first pitch that misses the zone outside for ball 1. Coots flew out to Judd Fabian in center field on a very deep fly ball. 1-0 fouled off of Rivoli's glove. He couldn't hang on as it bounces toward the Braves dugout. Counting out a ball and a strike.
Yeah, Iverson had that 3-run home run in the 2nd. His last inning was a 1-2-3 inning, so he's looking for more of that, trying to get the Braves back in this ballgame.
1-1 is whiffed at by Jackson Coots on the off-speed down low. Iverson with the 1-2 advantage now. Looking for his first strikeout so far in this game. Here's the 1-2. Another breaking ball. This one bounces off the plate into the chest protector of Brendan Rivoli. Count evens at 2-2. Iverson got a 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd. 2-2 lined over the head of Jimmy Glowenke into the left center field gap. DiGiacomo had to cut it off. Cooch rounds first, heads for second base, and he's in there with the slide. Jackson Cooch with a leadoff double into the left center field gap, and the Commodores already in business.
Taylor Smith.
Well, 3 of their 5 hits have been extra base hits, and there's another one from Jackson Cooch. And I don't think Giovanni DiGiacomo really took the right angle in left field. He tried to cut it off and played on a few hops to hold him to a single, but it ended up getting past him. He had to take a detour and run back a little bit. Cooch ended up getting to second, a leadoff double for the Commodores. Already a runner in scoring position, but their extra base hitting in this game, they're showing their power.
Here's Taylor Smith now. First pitch to him is breaking ball, missing inside. Sean Harney right now is getting loose for the Braves in the bullpen. You wonder how short the leash is on Nick Iverson. He's already given up 4 runs in just 3 innings of work. Here's the 1-0. It's in the dirt again. Rivoli does a nice job of keeping the ball in play, keeping it in front of him, keeping that runner at second base.
Yeah, Rivoli's been tested a few times. He's already given up 4 steals in the 3 games previously that he started catching. So they've tested him, and this Falmouth team leads the league in stolen bases.
Iverson takes a look back at second, now comes home with the 2-0 pitch, misses down and in. Count now to Taylor Smith at 3-0. Smith flew out on his first pitch back in the second inning, actually broke his bat in half. .3-0 now from Iverson. Called to strike right at the very bottom of the zone. And it's so funny. It seems that strike zone expands a little bit when the count's 3-0. Iverson takes advantage and gets a called strike.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't throw him a fastball. That was a breaking ball that just found the zone, and Smith obviously didn't offer. Back to 3-1.
3-1 is another off-speed pitch that Smith swings at. And from 3-0, Iverson has worked his way back into this count at 3-2.
And that off-speed is hard to catch up to. Nick Iverson throwing about 77 miles an hour against Taylor Smith, and now it's a payoff count.
Runner on second with nobody outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the payoff pitch of Taylor Smith. Called strike 3. How about that for a momentum builder? Iverson falls behind 3-0, fires 3 straight strikes, and gets Smith looking for out number 1.
That's what Nick Iverson needed. Thought he had it down. Taylor Smith really started that at bat in his favor. 3 straight balls, and then it's 3 straight strikes as Iverson retires him on the strikeout for a much-needed first out of the inning. Now Rivoli's going to go out and talk with him.
And Rivoli calls time, going to talk to his pitcher, Iverson. Baron Radcliffe stepping in. The lefty. And here comes Harvey Shapiro. And this might be the end of the day for Nick Iverson. I think Brennan Rivoli was instructed to go to call time, so Sean Harney in the bullpen can get a couple extra throws. Here comes Harvey Shapiro, and he is going to make a move. So Sean Harney will be coming into this ball game when we come back here on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel.
Practice bats. And of course, thank you.
Nick Iverson's first start comes to an end. He throws 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. He is currently in line for the loss, and replacing him on the mound has been a workhorse for this bullpen, Sam, and Sean Harney.
Harney's coming in for the 9th game that he'll throw in, his 7th in relief, has a 5.87 ERA, a 1-1 record on the year. He started 2 games. 15 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 16 hits, 12 runs, 10 of them being earned, 8 strikeouts, and 10 walks. He's a righty from UMass, a native of Natick, Massachusetts. The last time he pitched was against YD, went 2/3 of an inning, allowing 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 strikeouts, and only facing 3 batters. So he'll face off against Baron Radcliffe here in the inning with 1 out and a runner on second.
Iverson is responsible for Coots on second base if he comes around to score. Here's the first pitch to the lefty, Baron Radcliffe, and it's called a strike right at the knees. Radcliffe walked in his first at-bat today, still has yet to register an official at-bat. Harney, the righty, comes set, hands at the belt, kicks and fires. 0-1 missing outside at about 85 miles per hour. Count evens at a ball and a strike.
Harney's pounded that fastball 2 pitches in a row on Radcliffe, and if you miss location, Radcliffe's going to make you pay for it. It's got a lot of power. He was in the Cape Cod Baseball League Home Run Derby.
Here's the 1-1. Line drive into right field. Here comes Fedko. He plays it off a hop. Coots is going to be held at third base. The throw comes in from Fedko all the way to Rivoli. It gets behind him. Here comes Jackson Coots, and he's going to come in to score. The ball was thrown over Cade Beloso's head, and it bounced through the glove, it looked like, of Brennan Rivoli, rolling toward the Braves dugout. Coots advances from second all the way home.
Oh, an unlucky play. Rivoli looked like he didn't have his glove placed the right way, and Coots comes home to score. It's now a 5-1 game, and the Braves have another error. That was really the big thing in the first game, where the Braves 2 errors, and they do it again.
So Radcliffe will not be credited with that RBI. He'll be given a single. Coots coming around to score on the air as the first pitch now to Austin Langworthy is fouled off. Rivoli will be credited with the air. His second air in as many nights. He had a throwing error last night against Chatham.
And the Braves have had 9 errors in their past 5 games. 35 as a team.
Just so uncharacteristic for this team. The 0-1 flown out into left field. Giovanni DiGiacomo is under it. He makes the catch for out number 2. This Braves team, you would imagine, Sam, that the fielding, as the season goes on, you build more chemistry, you become a little bit more familiar with your teammates, that the fielding would probably get better. It might be shaky at the start, but it would get better. But for the Braves, it's been the opposite.
No, it really has just been struggling. It's been on a downward spiral just recently, after that Hyannis doubleheader, where they had 2 in the first game, 3 in the second. It just has been a big downward slope since then.
First pitch to Steven Moretto popped up over toward the Falmouth dugout. Beloso runs out of room. It lands out of play for strike 1. Moretto, of course, hit that 3-run home run. That is the difference between these two teams in the bottom of the 4th inning. Hit the home run off of Iverson, who is credited with that run. It will be unearned. So Iverson in his first start goes 3 1/3, 5 hits, 5 runs. Harney with an 0-1 count, and Radcliffe on second base. There goes Radcliffe. Pitch misses high. Throw from Rivoli to third, not in time. Baron Radcliffe steals third base, and this Falmouth team, Sam, taking no prisoners, stealing third with a 4-run lead.
And testing Rivoli behind the plate. Radcliffe got a great jump on it. Rivoli's throw was not in time for Radcliffe. That's just his 3rd stolen base of the season, and first since July 20th against Orleans. He takes third base and just positions himself better to score.
So 1-1 count to the third baseman, Moretto. Harney comes home with the pitch, and it's called a strike on the off speed. Count now 1-2 to Steven Moretto. Braves already giving up 1 run in this inning. Try and limit the damage where it stands right now. Harney sets. Kicks and fires. Pitch swung on and missed. And for only the second time today, the Braves pitching staff gets a strikeout, but not before they give up a run here off of a unique error. It's 1 run unearned scored off of 2 hits and 1 left on base. Braves now chasing 4 runs here. They'll try and get it started when we come back here on the Braves Baseball Network. Top of the 5th inning now between these two teams who will get to know each other over the course of these 2 days. 3 games in those 2 days. Doubleheader today that is wrapping up, and a game tomorrow back home at Bourne Park. And that'll be the last time these 2 teams play in the regular season until, if all things hold, the first round of the playoffs. Here's Giovanni DiGiacomo, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. It's a swinging bunt. He hits that, bounces foul on his first delivery. He falls behind 0-1.
Yeah, this has the feel of sort of like a major league series, a 3 or 4 game series, 3 games in a row against the Commodores. And the problem for the Braves is that this is the team that you don't want to play 3 games in a row to. You played Chatham last night with the best record in the league, and now you play Falmouth, who's the hottest team in the league. It's just not faring well for the Braves, and it showed on the field.
0-1, called a strike. Giacomo falls behind 0-2, and doesn't really get any easier for the Braves after this. Falmouth tomorrow night. Then they travel to Brewster. As DiGiacomo singles into right field, he takes the 0-2 curveball past Hayden Cantrell and Jackson Coots, and he's on base for the second time tonight.
Yeah, nice easy swing for Giovanni DiGiacomo in between first and second. Gets to right field, so he starts off being on, and that's what the Braves need more of. Leadoff base runners. You're back to the top of the lineup. Fabian, who's 1 for 2 with a double. So Braves get a base runner on here early in the 5th inning. They're running out of outs. Only a 7-inning game, but they can put together a comeback here.
The Braves have done a nice job of getting runners on as Fabian, the leadoff man, looks at strike 1 at the knees. 4 out of the first 5 leadoff guys for the Braves have gone on base tonight. However, it's only resulted in 1 run. Brown throws back to first base. Giacomo back in there safely. Count 0-1 to Judd Fabian, who's 1 for 2. He doubled in the first, came around to score the only Braves run, and then flew out to Tim Tawa in center. So he pops this one up foul and out of play down the left field line. He's in the hole at 0-2.
And Fabian, who struck out 32 times on the season with an 0-2 count, he has to do a good job of defending here against Brant Brown. Brown doesn't have a strikeout against the Braves in this game yet, so you like Fabian's chances here.
Brown very much pitch to contact. Here's the 0-2. Just called the ball outside. Close pitch for Fabian to take. He misses the zone, though. Stays alive at 1-2.
Yeah, Fabian took a chance. It was luckily called a ball for him on the outside part of the plate, so he gets another shot here, 1-2.
Here's the pitch from Brown. Fabian adjusts to the off-speed pitch, takes it into left center field, and it's caught by Tim Tawa. It was impressive that Fabian even got a bat on it because he had to almost restart his swing, but it results in out number one nonetheless.
And Tawa has a lot of speed in center field. He could have been called off by Langworthy, but he charges all the way to left center, puts the out on Judd Fabian for the first out of the inning, and the fielding has been so good for the Commodores, and obviously the errors on the Braves side has set them back, but just some great plays in the field by the Commodores tonight.
There's Xavier Warren now, who is 0 for 2, 2 lineouts to Trey Cruz over at shortstop. As Brown fires in a first pitch strike. As I was saying, the schedule doesn't get easier for the Braves. They're at Brewster, who is trying to find a way to sneak into the playoffs. Braves, of course, already clinched with the Hyannis loss last night. 0-1 called the strike, and Warren's in the hole 0-2. Then they play Wareham 2 days in a row, Tuesday at home, and then Wednesday on the road. That's July 31st. Then they play Brewster once again on August 1st. It was originally scheduled to be an off day for the entire league before the playoffs, but now the Braves are making things up as the 0-2 fouled off of Xavier Warren. It looks like either his shin or his foot, the bottom of his right leg. And it looked like that hurt him a little bit, and he stays alive in the count, though, at 0-2.
I don't think it might have got him off the shin guard. He adjusts the shin guard, but yeah, this is just preparation for playoffs. Obviously, the schedule doesn't get easy in the playoffs, especially for the Braves, who will more than likely have that last seed. So you play some tough teams going into playoff time. It's going to be tough for the Braves, who haven't been playing very good baseball lately, besides their 2 wins against Hyannis.
0-2 breaking ball that Warren takes into left field. Coming in is Austin Langworthy, and he makes the catch with one hand for out number 2.
Yeah, Langworthy was already playing a little bit in. It was a shallow fly ball for Xavier Warren. Langworthy just had to charge in and make the catch for the second out of the inning, but that's what's been happening for the Braves. They start off with a runner on, and DiGiacomo hasn't even moved from first base yet. He's still over on first.
Here's Brennan Rivoli now, 1 for 2. Singled in the first inning and then grounded out to Hayden Cantrell in the third. First pitch from Brent Brown. Taken up the middle. That's Tim Tawa. He plays it off a hop. And Brennan Rivoli has become very hot, very quietly. 5 hits in his past 2 starts. He gets his second hit tonight, a single into center field.
Yeah, the Braves love what they're seeing from Brendan Rivoli, who has stepped into this catcher role with fire. He mentioned that he was pretty excited to get back to catching and helping out the team, and it's showing on the field. 2 hits for him tonight. He had 3 hits a night ago, and Rivoli, he didn't have a multi-hit game going into last night's game, and he already has 2 now in 3 games.
Here's Jimmy Glowanke now. He takes a first pitch strike. Glowanke 1 for 1. He's responsible for the only run. He had a sac fly. An RBI sac fly that scored Judd Fabian in the first inning. Doubled his last time in the fourth. 0-1 now slapped fair down the first base line. It gets past Jackson Coots. Here come to score is Giovanni DiGiacomo. He comes in safely. Rivoli advances all the way to third base. And Jimmy Glowanke has his second double in the row. Braves get back on the board here in the top of the 5th inning, 5-2.
Oh, Jimmy Glowanke takes it right down the line. It was so close. Jackson Coots couldn't make a play over the first base bag. It's another RBI for Jimmy Glowanke, and the Braves get that much closer here. They're down by 3. There's still runners on second and third, and that's just how good Jimmy Glowanke has been getting. Doesn't matter. It has been going so far for him. Doesn't matter in the field where his hit goes. He'll find a way to get it down, and he gets a double there.
Here's Cody Morrison now. First pitch he looks at is ball 1. Almost got by the catcher Taylor Smith. After the double from Glowanke, Falmouth has some action going in their bullpen. Braves trying to claw closer and closer. 1-0 is downstairs. 2-0 now. The count to Cody Morissette. Runners on second and third. Glowanke on second. Rivoli on third. 3 hits so far in this top of the 5th inning. Here's the 2-0 to Morissette. hit foul down the first baseline. First base coach Aaron Meyer grabs it. Morissette now at a 2-1 count.
Yeah, Morissette's going to go down fighting. He knows how big of an opportunity this is for the Braves to claw their way back into this game. Only trailing by 3, runners on second and third. He's the tying run. And with the Braves only 6 more outs after this inning, this is big.
2-1 to Morissette. Breaking ball misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike now. And Sam, as this game goes on, you have to ask yourself, how big is that run scoring from third base on the air going to come back to haunt the Braves? Here's a 3-1 to Morissette from Brown, way up high. The bases are juiced now. Morissette walks on 5 pitches, and here comes Cade Beloso.
Yeah, any error could come back and haunt you, and that throwing error for the Braves, or the one that got underneath Brendan Rivoli that scored Baron Radcliffe, is going to be huge, and that obviously added an extra insurance run for the Commodores, but the Braves have a chance to get back into it here. Cade Beloso up with the bases loaded. He's been struggling as of late, but this is a great way to break out of a slump.
Tying run on first base. Here's the pitch to Beloso. Misses outside for ball 1. And Taylor Smith calls time. He's going to have a conversation with his pitcher. And Sam, with 1 swing on the bat, the Braves are right back into this game.
Yeah, Beloso, if he puts a ball in a gap here and gets a few runs home, he could possibly tie this one up. Just Beloso has not been playing very well recently. He had the 0-for-1 game against Hyannis, the second game, and then he had 2 RBIs in last night's game. But he's just been really struggling, batting under 100. 10 strikeouts in the last 11 games.
He's 0 for 2 in this game so far. The 1-0 pitch misses outside on the fastball, 84 miles an hour. And Beloso is right where he wants to be. A great hitter's count at 2-0. Going against Brant Brown. Here's the delivery to Beloso. High fly ball in center field. He tosses the bat in disgust. Tim Tawa is under it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. The Braves threaten in the top of the 5th inning. They get 1 home, but leave the bases loaded. They trail by 3 runs as Sean Harney retakes the mound for the Braves. We'll be back here for the bottom of the 5th on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Sean Harney back on the mound for the bottom of the 5th between the Bravos and the Commodores. Falmouth with a 5-2 lead over the Braves as they try and close in on their 11th consecutive win. It'll be the top of the order to get us started here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Hayden Cantrell steps in. First pitch from Harney. Hooked into right field. This will get down for a base hit. Let's see if Cantrell tries to stretch it. He will. Rounds first. Comes into second. Cruising in with a leadoff double. Hayden Cantrell, his second double of the game. He's 2 for 3.
It was looking like it was going to be a single, but it ended up slicing toward the line and chased Kyler Fedko back toward the line. And Cantrell saw an opportunity to take second, and he did. And that's what he does so well. Has one of the top batting averages in the league. He has 2 doubles today, and Falmouth offensively has just been very good on the power side of things against Nick Iverson and Sean Harney.
Now here's Tim Tawa stepping in. He has a hit in this game. He's 1 for 2. First pitch to Tawa. He squares up to bunt, pulls it back. Pitch misses the zone low for ball 1. Tawa singled in the first inning. Flew out to Giovanni DiGiacomo his last time up in the third. Harney comes set. Cantrell with a huge lead off. Dancing out there on the second base path. Harney steps off the mound. Dangerous right there. Cantrell loving to steal.
Yeah, 17 stolen bases on the year.
1-0 is a bunt that is popped up in the air. Harney makes the catch, throws to second base, and does get by Cody Morissette. He tried to pick it out of the air. Harney, with an athletic play to make the catch, almost throws the ball into center field, though.
Yeah, great job by Sean Harney to adjust. It was the bunt from Tim Tawa. He got under it. It stayed in the air for just enough time for Harney to speed over in the shallow infield and make the grab. Now, he decides to throw over to second to try and get the double play. Cantrell was back in time. Obviously, the throw was low and actually hit the glove of Cody Morissette. If that ball didn't hit his glove, that ball was going straight to right center field, and Cantrell could have possibly scored. So a good job by Morissette to stop it and leave Cantrell over on second.
Here's Zach DeLoach now. First pitch to DeLoach. Popped up foul over the third base dugout. DeLoach in this game, he's 0 for 2. He went 2 for 3 in the game earlier today. Grounded into a double play his first time and then flew out to Giovanni DiGiacomo. There should be to Judge Fabian. Out in center field. Here's the 0-1. Broken back ground ball to Jimmy Glowacki. Cantrell will advance to third as Glowacki makes a throw to first base in time for out number 2.
Fans, our scoreboard has seemed to stop working.
Yeah,
right
bat
now,
shatters
so
a
with us.
grounder
We'll
over
try
to
resolve
short.
this issue.
Lewanke had an easily fieldable ground ball that he picked up and threw to first. Cantrell moves 90 feet away to third with Trey Cruz coming up. Cruz is 0 for 2. Harney should feel pretty confident on the mound, but Falmouth just 90 feet away from another insurance run.
And that would be very demoralizing for the Braves if they give up the run that they earned back. First pitch to Trey Cruz almost gets by Brennan Rivoli. Misses the zone inside. Cruz in today's game 0 for 2. A ground out and a fly out. This is his first time facing Sean Harney. 1-0 will be hit foul down the right field line. Was hit hard, but hooked foul. Count evens at a ball and a strike now to Trey Cruz.
Man, Cruz coming on in the All-Star game in a relief he was subbed out, didn't start the game, but he came on in the All-Star game, went 1 for 2.
Would have been interesting if he pitched, though.
Yeah, it would have.
1-1 is hit a mile into right center field. Back on its Fedko, and Fabian is one hops the wall. Cantrell will walk home, and Trey Cruz with an RBI 2-out double.
And it's another double for the Falmouth Commodores as Cruz just drove that ball to right center field. His 5th double of the season, and that's been the killer for the Falmouth Commodores, has been their extra base hits. It's the 2nd double of the inning, and Cruz just continues to do what this Commodore lineup has been doing all game.
6-2 now. Falmouth reinstates their 4-run lead over the Braves. Here's Jackson Coots, who's 1 for 2, and might have guessed it. That one hit's a double. Came around to score. Scored on that air. First pitch to Coots is called a strike on the outside corner. 2 doubles in the inning results in the 1 run right now for Falmouth. And they're still not done yet. Harney comes set. Now steps off. And Coots, Sam, I always love to see a hitter coming up using no batting gloves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a devil move, but
it's hardcore.
It is hardcore. Shows aggressiveness.
Harney set, takes a look at second, now comes home. Pitch misses upstairs. Ball and a strike to Coots. Harney giving up a run here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The RBI double to Trey Cruz, who stands on second base right now. Here's the 1-1 to Coots. Grounded over to second base. Morissette plays it on a hop. Throws it almost too tall for Cade Beloso, but he makes the catch on his tiptoes for out number 3. And it's 1 run off 2 hits with no errors and nobody left on, or excuse me, with 1 left on. Braves give up another run, trail it by 4 runs now as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Braves are running out of outs here on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Top of the 6th inning here in the 7-inning ball game. The second game of the doubleheader. 6-2 lead for the Commodores over the Braves. And Brent Brown's night has come to an end. He throws 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. He is in line for the win should the Commodores hang on. And relieving him of his duties, a 2-way player here, Tyler Ross.
Yeah, it's another 2-way player for the Falmouth Commodores. Ross, a rising sophomore, a right-handed pitcher out of Alabama. He will be pitching in his 6th game, third in relief, has a 3.93 ERA, 1-0 on the season. He's pitched 16 innings and will face Fedko as the first batter.
The first pitch to Fedko is called a strike right at the knees. Fedko 0 for 1. Grounded out to third his first time and then walked on 5 pitches back in the 4th inning. 0-1 misses zone. Count now at a ball and a strike.
Ross is coming off a 4-inning performance on July 11th against Chatham. That was the last time he pitched. He gave up 2 earned runs on 4 hits.
So he hasn't pitched in 2.5 weeks as Fedko fouls next pitch off. Falls behind in the count at 1-2. Ross out of Alabama fires the 1-2 pitch. Fedko fouls it off the glove of Smith behind the plate, and he stays alive in the count at 1-2. Fedko looking for his first hit in tonight's ball game. Braves looking to make up 4 runs here in 2 innings. Here's a 1-2. Misses high. Waste pitch there from Ross. Count evens at 2-2.
And the Braves can use this pitching change to get a little bit of momentum. Brown gave up 2 runs against them, 6 hits, but now it's Ross, who hasn't pitched in over 2.5 weeks. So this could be a little bit of a momentum switch for the Braves.
2-2, swung on and missed.
1 out.
First strikeout of the inning, of the entire game in that matter. Fedko goes down on strikes, round number 1.
There's a breaking ball from Ross that Fedko was way out in front of. He goes down swinging for the first out of the inning, and that's not the way the Braves wanted to start at this top of the 6th.
Definitely not the way they want to switch that momentum. Kyle Hess comes in now, 0 for 2. Ground out and a fly out. His first pitch from Ross. He fouls straight back into the backstop. Sam, I think Braves are really only waiting on 2 bats to come around for them. I think it's the 7 and 8 hitters in this lineup, Fedko and Hess. As the 0-1's in the dirt, count evens at a ball and a strike.
Yeah, Hess had that big stretch about 2 weeks ago where he had that home run and followed that up with a few nice performances, but he's cooled off since then. Hasn't been very consistent. Fedko hasn't really shown any light yet as well, so they're waiting on those 2 to kind of come around.
1-1 pitch, called a strike on the breaking ball. Count now 1-2 to the designated hitter, Kyle Hess. Hess takes the next pitch into center field. In on it is Tim Tawa. He can't make the play. He catches it on a hop, and Kyle Hess follows his 0 for 2 performance so far into this game with a 1-out single.
And Tawa has been making some nice plays in center field, but he couldn't catch up to that one. It was hit in shallow center, and Tawa was sprinting inside to try and make it, but he lets it bounce in front of him and plays it on a hop. So Kyle Hess gets his first hit of the ball game. Now it's DeGiacomo, who's gotten on twice in his 2 at-bats.
Yeah, he's 1 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd and then singled back in the 5th. First pitch to Giacomo is in the dirt, almost hits him, and it gets past the catcher, Taylor Smith. Taking second easily is Kyle Hess. The double play threat is no more. Now the Braves have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, you move Kyle Hess up 90 feet, makes it a little easier for him to score for DeGiacomo, who singled in his last at-bat, a nicely hit ground ball in between first and second. So DeGiacomo with a chance to do a little bit of damage.
Braves could use some scoring here. 1-0, breaking ball. Good pitch to DeGiacomo. Throws him up. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Ross has given up at least 2 runs in every single appearance since that was his last clean outing against Harwich. As DeGiacomo singles into left field. Langworthy coming in on the play, had to let it fall on a hop and make that a 2-hit night now for Giovanni DeGiacomo. He's been on base all 3 times he's been up.
That was off the end of the bat. He had to reach for it. It was a pitch that was out of the zone from Ross, and DeGiacomo just kind of threw his bat at it, got contact off the end, and popped it up in the right place of the outfield that you want to pop it up at. Austin Langworthy didn't have the speed to catch that one in shallow left field, so Hess moves up to third. DeGiacomo's now on first, and now it's back to the top of the lineup. Still just 1 out in this inning. The Braves have another opportunity to claw back into this game.
First pitch to Judd Fabian, chopped, foul, just foul, down the third base line, over the head of Kyle Hess. Fabian this game, he's 1 for 3. He doubled in the first, came around to score. After that, 2 flyouts to Tim Tawa in center field. The Braves have been threatening in this game. In the 5th inning, they were just trailing by 3 runs. They had bases loaded. 0-1 to Fabian. Breaking ball that misses outside. Count evens at a ball and a strike. A little bit of a breeze now comes through here at Gov Fuller Field. Sun beginning to set around 7:15 local time. 1-1 to Fabian. Another breaking ball misses down and outside. Fabian with a lead now at 2-1.
And this is the guy the Braves want to have up. Fabian doubled in the first inning and has an opportunity to bring 2 runs across the plate, cut that deficit down to 2.
Here's the pitch from Ross, and it misses the plate low. 3 balls and 1 strike now. The count to Judd Fabian.
And if they walk Fabian, this could get a little bit concerning with Xavier Warren coming up in a potential bases-loaded situation here in the top of the 6th inning. Falmouth is close from just knotting this one up, but a little bit of a hiccup here in the 6th.
Fabian fouls the 3-1 pitch off straight back into the backstop. That fills the count up at 3 balls and 2 strikes, and you have to wonder if Giovanni DiGiacomo is going to be moving on this 3-2 count.
Yeah, already 1 stolen base on the game so far. That was back in the 3rd inning. He has 3 on the season, so he takes a little bit of a lead off first, and this would be a good opportunity for him to take another one.
There he goes. 3-2 pitch popped up. This will be out of play foul over the press box behind the plate. Braves, like I said, have been close in this game, and much like the season for the Braves, they've just been missing that 1 hit to really put them over the edge. Man getting loose in the Falmouth bullpen. As DiGiacomo gets the lead off first base. He stays put this time. The payoff pitch again to Fabian. Fouled off once again. And Fabian and Ross on a little bit of a battle.
And he is really fighting off some tough pitches. That was off speed from Tyler Ross. And Fabian fights off a 2-strike pitch. Remains in this at-bat. And he's giving Tyler Ross a little bit of a battle in a very important spot in this game.
Runners on the corners here with 1 out. Top of the 6th inning. There goes DiGiacomo. 3-2 pitch. Misses the zone. So DiGiacomo cruises into second. Fabian walks. And now the tying run comes to the plate and Xavier Warren.
And this could be a dicey situation for the Commodores. Now, Xavier Warren is 0 for 3, but he's had 2 good contact lineouts to Trey Cruz at short. So you have to think his first hit of the night is just due in this at-bat. He's gotten good contact on all 3 of his at-bats. Looking for his first hit here with the bases loaded.
He's 0 for in this game, but in the earlier game today, Warren was 3 for 4 with 3 singles. He bats from the left side against the righty, Tyler Ross. Here's the first pitch to Warren. Breaking ball, call a strike on the inside half. Second consecutive inning that the Braves have had the bases loaded.
Ross desperately needs strikes here, Jordan.
Yeah, only 1 out here. Definitely needs strikes or needs the help of a ground ball. Here's the 0-1. Big swing and a miss there from Warren. Fooled on the off-speed pitch. It was in the dirt, and he falls behind 0-2.
And Warren's looking to be the hero here. 1 swing of the bat could tie this game up. So he swings way out in front on the off-speed pitch from Tyler Ross and now goes down 0-2. This is exactly where Ross wants him.
Ross comes set. Hands meet in front of the letters. He fires home the 0-2. The same breaking ball. This time Warren holds off. Smith keeps it in front of him. Count out, a ball and 2 strikes. Hess, the runner at third. DiGiacomo at second. Judd Fabian over at first base. 6-2 lead for Falmouth over the Braves. Here in the top of the 6th. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It misses outside. Fabian now working the count. Evens it up at 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2 now. And Xavier Warren, from being down 0-2, has watched a few close pitches that he hasn't decided to go for smartly and evens up the count 2-2.
Braves just looking to cut into the 4-run lead. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, and it's swung on and missed.
2 out.
Warren goes down on the strikeout. Only the second strikeout of the game. They both come in this top of the 6th inning, and that one hurts for the Braves.
That's a big strikeout for Tyler Ross on the mound. He strikes out Xavier Warren, the team's RBI leader. Bats in the 2 spot, and that's where he had wanted him, and it looks like Tyler Ross either getting a mound visit or he might be done. But Brendan Rivoli now coming up, and Rivoli already has 2 hits, 2 for 3. He's had a solid game, and that's going to be it for Tyler Ross. He's taken out with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 6th.
Yeah, Jeff Trundy plays matchups. He brings in a new pitcher here to face the lefty, Brendan Rivoli. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be right back here from Gov Fuller Field. The Braves threatening bases loaded, 2 outs as they trail by 4 runs. We'll be back on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel. Tyler Ross comes in to pitch the top of the sixth, and he does not get out of the inning. He only goes 2/3, giving up 2 hits, no runs yet. However, bases are loaded, and they're all because of him. He walks 1, strikes out 2. Now to clean up the mess for the Commodores, Sam, is Aiden Maldonado.
And Maldonado is a rising sophomore from the University of Illinois, has a 2-1 record on the year. He'll be pitching in his 9th game, all in relief. A 3.85 ERA, has 1 save on the year, 14 in the innings pitched, 23 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 10 hits. His last game was under a week ago, July 22nd at Brewster. It was a 4-1 win for the Commodores. He went 2 innings there, no runs, 1 hit. He got the save, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts while he faced 8 batters. So he's being asked to get out Brendan Rivoli with the bases loaded. Rivoli has had a good one so far, 2 for 3.
Yeah, 2 singles, 1 in the first and 1 in the 5th. He also grounded out to Hayden Cantrell in the 3rd inning as Maldonado wraps up his final warm-up throws. Opposing hitters hitting only 200 against Maldonado so far this season. As everyone returns to their positions on the field, here we go. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The tying run is at the plate, and Brendan Rivoli. Kyle Hess, the runner at 3rd. Giovanni Giacomo, the runner at 2nd, and Judge Fabian over at 1st. The righty Maldonado on the rubber. Gets the play call from the home plate umpire. As Maldonado shakes off a sign now. Comes to agreement with Smith behind the plate. Comes set. Hands meet just above the waist. First pitch to Rivoli. Swung on and fouled off the mask of Taylor Smith behind the plate. Rivoli falls behind 0-1.
For Rivoli, this is only his 2nd multi-hit ball game of the year. His first was last night against the Chatham Anglers. He went 3 for 4, so he's riding a little bit of a hot streak.
Swinging a hot bat right now. 4 RBIs on the year. Maldonado comes set. Takes a breath, now fires the 0-1. Rivoli lines it into left field. This will get down for a base hit. Here comes Kyle Hess. Rounding 3rd and scoring from 2nd base is Giovanni DiGiacomo, and Brendan Rivoli getting it done. He brings the Braves to within 2 runs now, 6-4.
Wow, Brendan Rivoli, his 2nd 3-hit game in 2 or 3 games that he's played in. He just a little floater on the left field side right by the line that Langworthy had to chase in. That's all he needed to get 2 runs home as DiGiacomo and Hess both come home, and he makes this a game again. Brendan Rivoli, I like him in the 3 spot.
Yeah, he's really adjusted to it well. Fabian moves up to 2nd base, so runners on 1st and 2nd. 2 outs here for Jimmy Glowanke. First pitch to Jay Glow, he fouls it off. We mentioned that Rivoli has been heating up, but how about 2 3-hit games in his last 2 starts? Glowanke in this one, he's 2 for 2 as well. 2 RBIs and 2 straight doubles. 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Here's the 0-1 to Glowanke. He fouls it off. Chopped behind the plate, and he's in the hole at 0-2.
Well, I think that proves for Rivoli that the more routine playing time he gets, the more at-bats he gets, and I think the more used to it that he kind of gets used to. And that's what has really proved in the past few games for Brendan Rivoli. Ever since he started catching, he's been playing a lot better.
Maldonado comes set. Takes a look at 2nd. Now comes home with the 0-2 pitch, where Glowanke swings and misses, and that's where the inning will come to an end. A 3-pitch strikeout to Jimmy Glowanke, but the Braves make it a game again off the 2 RBI single from Brendan Rivoli. They scored 2 hits off of, or 2 runs rather, off 3 hits, leaving 2 on base. 6-4 our score heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. Harney on the mound will look to keep the deficits at 2. We'll be back on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel. Bottom of the 6th inning and only a 7th inning game. So the equivalent of the bottom of the 8th inning. And Sam, let's go ahead while we have a moment to take one last look, one last trip around the Cape.
Yeah, we've had a few comebacks. YD now leads Harwich in the bottom of the 7th, 13-5. That game at Red Wilson Field. And Brewster came back on Orleans and won it 7-3 at Stony Brook Field. 1-0 lead for the Wareham Gatemen over Hyannis. That game is in the top of the 4th. Wareham is home, and just starting in the top of the 2nd between Catuit and Chatham. They are both knotted up 0 apiece.
Catuit and Wareham locked in a battle for the 2nd spot in the West Division as the first pitch to Taylor Smith, the catcher. He fouls it off the mask of Brennan Rivoli, actually knocks the mask off. Coming into today's slate of games, Catuit in 2nd place with 40 points at 18, 16, and 4 ties. Meanwhile, Wareham at 19, 17, and 1 at 39 points. And we could see a lot of movement in that 2nd and 3rd spot over the next 4 or 5 days. Here's the 0-1 from Harney. In the dirt, taken by Smith for ball 1. Count evens at a ball and a strike.
Yeah, those 2nd and 3rd spots, and really the top 3 is still up for grabs. There could be a lot of movement between those top 3. The Braves are certainly almost guaranteed to finish in that 4th spot. But
1-1 from Harney misses inside. Count now at 2-1. Now you never know. The Braves, they pick up 2 wins against Wareham in those 2 games back-to-back. They make up 4 points on them. In that many days, they obviously need some help from either the Kettleers or the Gatemen. As Harney misses the zone once again. Falls behind in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike.
And the Braves really had that 4th spot the entire year, with Hyannis struggling as much as they have this year and the Braves just being kind of that far off from the top 3.
3-1 pitch, flown out into right field. Kyler Fedko tracking it toward the right field line. Still moving in the air, and finally, Fedko makes the catch for out number 1.
Sean Harney needs a 1-2-3 inning on the mound to get through this Falmouth lineup unharmed and give the Braves a chance in the top of the 7th inning. They made it a game in the top of the 6th, scoring 2 runs there and making this a 2-run game. So the Braves still in this one against the Commodores to try and end that win streak.
Here's Baron Radcliffe now. He was the first batter that Sean Harney faced, so he's worked his way through the entire order. First pitch to Radcliffe, popped up. Looks to be moving into foul territory and out of play, and it does. DeGiacomo runs out of space. Radcliffe falls behind 0-1. On today's game, Radcliffe is 1 for 1. He walked and later scored in the 2nd inning, and then singled and was stranded at 3rd back in the 4th inning. He actually stole 3rd base as well. Here's 0-1. Big swing and a miss there from Radcliffe. Went after the high fastball, and he's shaking himself for it. He falls behind now 0-2.
Yeah, and that stolen base was shocking, just of how big Radcliffe is, the power that he has, and that he stole 3rd base as well for just his 3rd stolen base on the year.
Here's the 0-2 to Radcliffe. Harney misses the zone, down and outside. Ball and 2 strikes now to Baron Radcliffe. Lights on here at Gov Fuller Field. Commodores trying to win their 11th straight game. Radcliffe fouls another one off. Right off the fence, the backstop. Stays alive at 1-2. And it's crazy to think about a win streak like this in a season that's only 44 games long. If the Commodores hang on to win this one, they would have won a quarter of the season's worth in a row consecutively. 11 games is 25% of the season as Radcliffe fouls another one off.
Yeah, it's just that really puts their win streak in perspective, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah.
It's just they've been so dominant, and it really that the hitting hasn't been the strong suit. It's been all about their pitching. They've allowed their opponents to just score a little over 1 run a game, and that's really just been the dominant thing. When your pitching is good, that allows your offense a chance.
1-2. Radcliffe watches up and outside. Count evens 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the designated hitter. Has been on base both times he's been up. Radcliffe fouls another one off, going toward the Falmouth dugout. And Radcliffe is a guy, and the longer he's in the at-bat, the more likely you feel like he's going to find a pitch to get on base with.
Yeah, it's the more pitches he's seeing until he finds the right one. And he keeps fouling off these pitches and remains a 2-2 count. He's really seen all that Harney has.
Another 2-2 pitch to Radcliffe. Taken, and it's called strike 3. A big out number 2. Radcliffe didn't like the call, but he set down on strikes.
Yeah, it was called on the inside corner. And Radcliffe obviously didn't like it, rolled his eyes, but he is retired on the strikeout from Sean Harney. That was a great pitch to give him. Radcliffe had nothing to offer on those inside pitches. It's tough to get some good contact. It would have been jammed if he would have swung at it, but it's a strikeout for Harney nonetheless. 2 outs in the inning.
Now here is Austin Langworthy. 1 for 2 in this game. Singled and scored in the second. Takes his first pitch out of the zone for ball 1. Flew out to Giovanni DiGiacomo in left field. Back in the 4th against Sean Harney. Comes up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Falmouth with a 2-run lead over the Braves. 1-0 pitch sails up and out of the zone. 2-0 the count now to Langworthy. He came into the game, the first game, ended up with the save in the 4-2 Falmouth win. And once again, only 2 runs separate these teams. Langworthy fouls one off out of play over the third base dugout. Count now sits at 2-1.
Well, the Braves have played him close both games, but there just seems to be this certain edge that Falmouth has had the entire game, and the Braves just haven't been able to overcome those deficits.
In both games, the Commodores have scored 4 runs in the first 2 innings. 2-1 pitch is fouled off once again by Langworthy. Count evens to 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Harney working his longest ever outing here. He's thrown 2 in the 3rd innings. 2-2 bounces in the dirt. Count fills up at 3-2.
And Harney's going to have to work to try and strike out Langworthy on a 3-2 pitch. Langworthy's 1 for 2, singled, came around to score in the 2nd inning, flew out, so he hasn't been struck out yet, and Harney going to have a tough battle here.
Here's the payoff pitch from Sean Harney, and it's taken for ball 4. Missed the zone down low. Langworthy walks to first base, and the Commodores have a 2-out base runner.
Yeah, now you bring up Stephen Moretto, who hit the 3-run home run in the 2nd inning that got things going for the Commodores. There was 1 run in the bottom of the 1st, and Moretto's 3-run shot in the bottom of the 2nd, and Falmouth hasn't looked back since. So Moretto already with a runner on, looking for a little bit of a 2-out rally, get some more insurance runs across the plate.
1 for 2, the 3-run home run in the 2nd, a strikeout in the 4th. Here's the first pitch. Missed the zone high. Braves dugout wanted it, didn't get the call. Braxton Roxby getting loose, at least a little bit right now. He's more so just watching the game from the bullpen. Probably just told, get loose just in case. Here's the 1-0. Almost sails past Brendan Rivoli behind the plate. Count now at 2-0 to Moretto. Definitely not a guy you want to get behind in the count to. Has shown some power. 2 home runs in as many games for Stephen Moretto. 2-0 pitch, misses high. Now Harney having trouble finding the zone.
Yeah, Harney hasn't even been close with these 3 pitches. 3-0 on Moretto, and you think you can easily get out of the inning. You strike out Radcliffe looking, and then you give up the walk on a 3-2 pitch, and Moretto has a 3-0 count. Harney is struggling, and we'll see if Roxby might come in after this batter.
We've seen Roxby twice this season. As Rivoli, his meeting commences with Harney on the mound. 3-0 count to the number 9 hitter here, Stephen Moretto. You'd imagine no matter where this pitch is at, he's going to be taking here. Here's a 3-0 from Harney. And that meeting worked. It's A called strike. Now Moretto ready to go to work at 3-1.
Yeah, that's what Harney needed to really get mentally back into this at bat. He's got a strike on Moretto, 3-1. Moretto's still going to be swinging away 3-1, but Harney needs to lock in and find something that works.
Here's the 3-1. Grounded foul over toward the Braves dugout. And now Harney's climbed all the way back here from 3-0. Count fills up at 3-2.
Yeah, a little bit of a confidence boost now for Harney. He's back in this one, and Moretto's going to be on his toes. Had a 3-0 count. Now it's back to 3-2, and he's going to see that the best pitch that Harney has.
2 outs here, bottom of the 6th inning. Langworthy, the runner on first base. He'll be moving. Here's a payoff pitch from Harney, taken for ball 4. Fastball that misses low and outside. Runners now on first and second for Falmouth.
Yeah, 2 straight walks on 3-2 pitches, and Harney just struggling to find the zone. Those 2 3-2 pitches were both outside and weren't very close to the zone. And now you bring it back to the top of the order in Cantrell, who's gotten on twice with 2 doubles. A dangerous situation for Harney, who was looking good in this inning and now has a little bit of a tough situation to work out of with 2 outs.
And both times he's been on base with those doubles, he's come around to score. 1 in the 1st and in the 5th. First pitch to Cantrell, he takes for strike 1, and it's important for Harney, especially against Cantrell, to lead in the count.
Yeah, it is. Cantrell got the first double in the first inning on a 2-1 count. The second double he had in the 5th inning was the very first pitch of the at-bat. So Harney leads him off with a strike there. It's important to have Cantrell back up on his heels.
0-1 misses up and outside. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Cantrell, 322. Creeps up on Zach Deloach, who's over in today's game. 1-1, just misses the zone outside. Braves dugout unhappy they didn't get the strike call. Harney falls behind 2-1. The Braves score 2 in the top of the 6th to cut it to a 2-run deficit. 6-4 our score here from Gulf Fuller Field. 2 outs in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 2-1 to Cantrell, misses high, and now Harney in danger of walking his 3rd consecutive batter.
Yeah, he got up on Cantrell and gave him 3 straight balls. He's really struggling with location, and you think you load up the bases. Roxby, who's back throwing in the bullpen, this could be Harney's last batter if he can't get Cantrell out.
Harney comes set and hands me at the belt. Takes a look at second. Now kicks and fires. A 3-1 pitch. Fastball. Called a strike. And for the 3rd batter in a row, Sam, it's fulled up.
Yeah, and the previous 2, he walked on an outside pitch on a 3-2 count. So Harney, he's got to tighten up here. 3-2 again, he'll have the 3rd chance to strike out a batter and get out of this inning. We'll see what he gives Cantrell, but 2 times before, it was an outside off-speed pitch.
Runners move on the 3-2, and it's called strike 3. Cantrell goes down looking, and all is well that ends well for Sean Harney. He walks 2 batters in a row, but picks up his 2nd strikeout of the night. His 2nd one also in that top of the 6th inning. The Braves now down to their last outs here. They are down 6-4. We'll be back here in the top of the 7th inning for the Braves, the last bats on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Bourne Braves Baseball Network here. Cody Morissette stepping in to lead us off in the top of the 7th inning. The Braves down to their final 3 outs, and they trail Falmouth by 2 runs. Aiden Maldonado still on the mound. He throws his first pitch to Morissette, missing outside for ball 1. Morissette on today's game, at least in the second game, he's 0 for 2. A couple flyouts, including a diving catch made by Steven Moretto in foul territory. However, Morissette walked his last time in the 5th. 1-0 pitch to him is outside once again. He's got the advantage here, 2-0.
And Maldonado is looking for his second save in consecutive games. Had his first save of the season on July 22nd against Brewster. He went 2 innings there, just allowed 1 hit, picked up his first save, now is looking for his second. But the Braves just need a base runner, and the tying run will come to the plate.
All it takes is a bloop and a blast. The 2-0 pitch to Morissette, call a strike right at the knees. 2-1 now, the count to the second baseman. Morissette looking for his first hit in this game. Led off the last game with a single, but since then he's been held hitless. 2-1 is called a strike on the inside corner. Morissette can't believe the call. Turns his back to the home plate umpire. Count evens at 2-2.
Yeah, it was an inside pitch that was called a strike. Morissette back into the at-bat. He needs to defend here with 2 strikes.
Maldonado comes set, hands just above the waist. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Morissette. Swung on and missed. Morissette goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Maldonado going back to the 6th inning. The Braves down to their final 2 outs.
Yeah, Morissette was not expecting off-speed there. He was looking fastball all the way, and it showed in that swing. He was way out in front of the breaking ball from Aiden Maldonado and didn't guess correctly on that pitch. He's the first out of the inning. Now it's up to Beloso to try and get on.
Beloso in today's game, the second game, 0 for 3. Pair of flyouts and a ground out. First pitch to him. Flown out, foul down the left field line, out of play. Braves just being held to 2 runs in the first game. They strike for 4 in this one. However, they trail Falmouth by 2 runs. In danger of losing their 3rd straight game. The 0-1 to Beloso, grounded over to short. Tough play for Trey Cruz. A Jeter-type throw across the diamond, not in time. Beloso beats it, and plenty of time. He shows off the wheels. Braves have their tying man now coming to the plate.
Oh, that's almost an impossible play for Trey Cruz. It was working to his right side. Had to throw it across his body and away from where his momentum was taking him. So Beloso had some extra time, and now he's going to be pinch ran with by Jake McKenzie, who has just about half of this team's steals. So he's over on first, but Beloso does his job, gets on base, and the tying run comes to the plate with Kyler Fedko coming up.
So McKenzie comes in to fill in for Beloso. Kyler Fedko in this game, 0 for 2, a ground out, a walk, and a strikeout. All 3 outs of the 6th inning were strikeouts, and the first out of the 7th is also a strikeout. The last 4 outs all coming on the way of the K. McKenzie the runner at first. Here's a first pitch from Maldonado. It's in the dirt. Smith keeps it in front of him. Use the chest protector there, blocks it well. 1-0.
Now Fedko needs to watch out for any ground ball. A ground ball in the middle infield will end this game on the double play. So Fedko's just looking for contact and putting something in the outfield. Grounded into 2 double plays this year.
1-0 to Fedko is grounded but foul down the first base line. Past Aaron Meyer. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Fedko has the opportunity here to keep the Braves into this one with a massive gap over to the right side. Hayden Cantrell cheating over in double play depth. So is Trey Cruz over on the left side as Maldonado checks on McKenzie, who's back in standing up. Fedko looking for his first hit tonight. And the Braves could certainly use it. Here's the 1-1. Popped up foul once again, and count moving to 1-2. Fedko in danger of striking out for the second time tonight.
And he's got Fedko on his heels, and Kyler's a player that struck out 21 times this season. Has really struggled all year. His average has stayed around 100 the entire year, and he's just looking to break out. And a single and getting on base would be huge here, but he's backed up against the wall with 2 strikes.
Maldonado already has 2 strikeouts. He's looking for his third against Kyler Fedko. He takes a look at first, now fires the 1-2 pitch. High fastball, but Fedko goes on it. He gets Fedko to chase on the high fastball, and the Braves down to their last out.
That's tough to catch up to from Maldonado. A fastball high. Fedko went for it. And it's a pitch that started out low and just kind of rose up into the zone, and Fedko couldn't catch up to it. 2 outs, and Kyle Hess is the last chance for the Braves in this game.
After going the first 5 innings with nobody on the lineup striking out, the last 5 outs have all been strikeouts. Kyle Hess stands as the Braves' last chance here. 1-4-3. Check swing that they check over at the second base umpire. Problem is he's in the C position. Can't tell from that angle, so he says Hess didn't go. I want to know the count to the DH tonight. He singled and came around to score in that 6th inning. Braves with Giovanni DiGiacomo on deck, who's had a hot night. 1-0 to Hess. Sails up and outside. He's got the 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, Hess singled in his last at-bat, his first hit in over a week. He's already got something going here, and no bigger time to get a hit than right now against Maldonado.
Here's a 2-0. Big swing and a miss there from Kyle Hess. Looked like he saw fence when he took that swing. Behind it, though, stays in the lead, though, at 2-1.
Yeah, we know Hess has power. He homers in batting practice, homered a few weeks ago against the Harwich Mariners, and he was trying to tie this game in one swing and just swung way too hard.
Maldonado takes a breath, now comes home. 2-1 pitch is another swing and a miss. And now the Commodores 1 strike away from winning their 11th consecutive game.
Well, this is unbelievable. A historic run for the Falmouth Commodores. And the Braves just haven't really been able to do anything. There's been a sense in the air that Falmouth can do no wrong these past 11 games, and they are 1 strike away from wrapping their 11th win up.
Braves trail by 2 runs. Maldonado comes set. McKenzie, the runner at first. Pinch running for Cade Beloso. Here's a 2-2 pitch to McKenzie, and he fouls it off. Just stays alive, and he'll see another pitch at 2-2.
Yeah, Hess just gets a piece of it, fouls it back toward the backstop, stays alive. Now the Braves are not out of this game. It's a 6-4 lead for Falmouth, and Hess is the tying run. So Bourne is just looking for him to get on base, continue the inning, get to DiGiacomo so he can try and do something.
Maldonado working very methodically on the mound. 1 strike away from picking his 2nd save up of the year. Here's the 2-2 to Hess. Swung on and missed, and down goes Kyle Hess, and down go the Braves. They fall to the Falmouth Commodores for the 2nd time today, 6-4.
11 wins in a row for the Falmouth Commodores, and they can do no wrong. They are the top team in this league, and 2 wins against the Braves, both by 2 runs. The pitching was really the highlight for Falmouth, while their hitting came around and got on the Braves early. For 9 games straight, the Braves have given up at least 1 run in the first inning, and that just shows that those first inning blows can really kill you.
The Commodores have won a quarter of the season's worth of games consecutively. 11 games in a row, and that pushes them to 49 points. And it just comes over the loudspeaker that's the longest win streak in this baseball league since 1967. And Sam, we are playing witness to something truly special.
Yeah, Falmouth has just played spectacular in these 11 games. A historic win streak, and they just can do no wrong. They hope they can, with this win streak, can really ride them into the postseason because they are playing. They're the hottest team since 1967. There's nothing more to say about it. Falmouth is unbeatable, and they do it again twice against the Braves here.
And the problem for the Braves is that Falmouth is unbeatable, and they'll see him one more time tomorrow night over at Bourne Park. We're not sure who's going to be on the mound for the Braves. We think most likely it'll be Ryan Cusick to get the start. But the Braves, to their credit, they've lost both games only by 2 runs and had multiple opportunities in this game to not only tie the game, but take the lead.
Yeah, they had plenty of runners on base to do some damage, and they just couldn't cash anybody in, and that speaks to the pitching for Falmouth. We know how good it's been during this 11-game win streak, and the Braves, they put runners in position, they just couldn't bring them home, and that's been really the one thing holding the Braves back on the hitting side this whole season.
The Braves fall to 2-3 against Falmouth this season, with the final game of the season series coming tomorrow night from Bourne Park. This is most likely, folks, what the playoff matchup is going to be in the first round, the 1 versus 4 seed, and it looks like Falmouth is cruising to that number 1 seed. That's easy to do when you win 11 straight games. Let's go over the final game lines here. The Braves score 4 runs off of 10 hits, 1 error, and they leave 10 runners on base. Falmouth, on the other hand, advanced to 24-12-1 on the year. 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors and they leave 4 on base. Brant Brown picks up his 2nd win of the season. He goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, striking out nobody. Nick Iverson falls to 0-1 on the year. He goes 3 1/3, giving up 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Aiden Maldonado picks up the saves for the Commodores. Final game time at 2 hours and 9 minutes. The Braves in action once again tomorrow night against the Falmouth Commodores. Sam, we'll see you at the ball yard tomorrow night. Until then, good night, everybody.